Welcome to Still Plays Galaxy of Heroes, and this is what I hope will be a small talk video, the little sibling to our talk series that is supposed to be shorter and cover a narrower scope of information. And yesterday, we received our first real collection of information related to our next raid. CG gave us our first post about the Naboo Raid, which is in effect the end of the Endor raid. Most of you can stop investing in Endor and now start preparing for Naboo. And in this vid, we are going to review the allowable characters and some of the key pieces of information that are clues to which of those characters are going to be important, because that's our goal, to parse out the info so that we can be smarter about how and where to prepare and invest. And for the regulars over at the Discord, most of this we broke down over there, but there's a couple new things in here. The first key piece of information, and I actually glossed over this during my initial read through because I was just jumping to the meat of things. So credit to Zavor over on the Discord for making me aware of this line. It looks like that there may be a ship component to this, because here you and your guild must engage the enemy both on land and in space to defend Naboo. So who knows exactly what that means or how it's going to express itself, but we need to be on alert. In terms of the land portion, we know that there's going to be endless waves of battle droids. This may be similar to how the last conquest functioned, where we just had wave after wave of those 5, but there's going to be a randomized command droid that is going to change things every wave, so we need to adjust accordingly. One of the things that we don't know yet, and I would consider this a pretty big caveat, is we don't have a clear indication, at least I don't think we do, of if this is going to be 3-man squads or 5-man squads, because I think based on some of these faction bonuses and some of the other mechanics, there's reason to believe that this could be 3-man squads, but I'm kind of thinking through of this stuff in both ways. I'm trying to be flexible here until we have more information. With the Naboo Raid, we are going to get 5 hero characters, and these hero characters, the hero bonus is pretty straightforward. We're going to get some extra stats with protection, offense, and mastery, and then we're going to have a mechanic where when the character inflicts a debuff, then they're going to get some health and protection recovery and some defense and offense stacking for a turn. So minimal but nice. But what I really care about is that 3 of these characters at least are going to overlap with other projects, and we're going to be building them out anyway. Staff is a character I do expect CG to probably give us more reason to develop as the months go on, like looking out for the next GL or some other characters down the line. Darth Maul is the only question about how much we're going to want to invest further in, but we already need him at Relic 7 for a GL, so taking him to Relic 8 or Relic 9 at that point is not as big of an ask. Relic 8 will be pretty easy. Relic 9 is really the only question. But we do need to consider, with the release of this raid, are we going to get Relic 10? Because I do think we are way overdue for our next level of progression, because you can't have whales finishing the game. Like, they need to keep moving forward. The goalposts need to change in order for the game to make revenue so that it can continue to exist. So I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen it already. So we have our allowable characters. There are 30 characters that CG is including, ranging from Gungans, Separatists, to Galactic Republic Jedi and other Galactic Republic characters. But what I really want to key in on here is this raid, even more than Crate and Endor, is emphasizing new content, because it has all of our recent marquees, not just some like they did with Crate and Endor. And we have a conquest character here with Cadme, and I'm pretty shocked that we don't also have Admiral Trench in here. But this is why I have always prioritized and always advised that players go after some of the newer content and go after the newer farms, even though they're single shard drops. Because even if you're more interested in double drops because you think you're making progress faster, what double drops really mean is you are just getting to where everyone is already leaving faster. These days, CG is putting so much emphasis on the new content and building off of it that it's really important to make sure that you can at least have a nominal participation in it. Even if you can't get everybody up to relics, at least be participating in the lower levels of this raid, like at that first tier or second tier, because it's not just the raid that matters. It's going to be Conquest, it's going to be Galactic Challenges, it is going to be a lot of resources related to all of the newer marquee characters related to this raid, on top of some of these older characters. We're hopefully going to see some renewed viability, because some of these are going to be tough to work on. But with these faction bonuses, now here we get some major clues about which of those characters may be worth investing in much more than others. Gungans are straightforward. Plasma residue looks important. We're going to skip over that one. What I care about is the Galactic Republic and the Separatists. Now, Galactic Republic, one, we get stat boost to healers, supports, and tanks. Attackers, notably absent. So keep that in mind. That means characters like Kit Fisto or Qui-Gon may be less important. But the biggest clue is everything related to these bonuses here, because the condition is if the ally in the leader slot is a healer. That is a huge clue about who matters here, because there's not too many healers in the game and not too many healers who have a leadership. There's only one character that qualifies, and that is Luminara. Luminara is the only character in the raid who is a leader and a healer. So if you don't have her, you've been ignoring her for a long time, she's an old character, she's easy to gear up. You can bring her up to this gear 11, gear 12 staging ground that I bring everybody up to, and just start preparing things. Get those gear 12 plus pieces hoarded, ready to go. Start looking at the Omegas, the Zetas, and get ready. There's been reasons to prepare her. Now we know that we can safely do it. She's probably a character who is going to be worth the relic investment to just make it a whole lot easier to do well in this raid. But even within these list of bonuses, there's a few other things that we need to be aware of. Whenever a Jedi recovers health, they recover protection. That means probably the more health, the better. That means Shaak Ti becomes interesting. Jedi Consular becomes interesting. And also, whenever an ally Jedi healer uses a special ability, we will dispel all buffs on the target. That's going to make Jedi healers more important, which means we can start building out a squad like this. This is a combo of healer and support characters. And here we have Jedi Consular, who is another one of our healers. We have Shaak Ti, because she's a support character who also has a heal. Yoda is flexible. He doesn't necessarily have to be here, but because he's a support character, he is going to have bonuses, particularly in the modifier bonuses that we will talk about. And here with Ki-Adi-Mundi, he's an attacker. But this is credit to Tracked over on the Discord. He reminded me about this condition within Jedi Council. Now, most of us are very aware of the first half of the condition about how we get the extra speed, health, and offense. But the second half here is what matters. Galactic Republic Jedi allies with a support or healer role have additional offense equal to 10% of their max health. So by adding Cam to this squad, he is boosting up the offense of everybody. So we know that we have to have Luminara as our leader. She needs to be paired with a Jedi ally who is a healer that's only Jedi Consular, and then Cam is going to be boosting them. So that is a potentially interesting 3-man team if we're forced into 3-man. If we're using a 5-man squad, we can definitely add Shaak Ti. Yoda is a flex option, but him being a support character, he's going to do a ton of damage. Now with our Separatist information, there's some nice pieces of information here. So Darth Sidious leader ability, active at max rank, applies to Separatist allies as well if he is not in the leader slot. So Sidious can't be the leader. That is valuable information to know. And then the second portion here, whenever the Separatist in the ally leader slot uses a special, all Sith allies assist. So we know the leader has to be Separatist, and we know pairing that leader with Sith allies is going to be powerful, which means based on the qualified characters, there's only one option, and that is Nute Gunray is our Separatist leader. We pair him with the Sith characters, and this is one of those reasons why a lot of these 3-man squads make sense, and maybe we have a 3-man squad version like we did with Endor. But that does raise questions about how do we use the Separatist droids. I'm imagining we're just having a situation where Stap is going to be paired with these other ones or a couple of these other ones to build out a squad, or we take 2 of them, pair them with Nute, Maul, and Sidious, and have that be our squad. But we will start understanding this a little bit better when we get the raid mechanics post in the coming weeks. Modifiers, I just want to do a speed run through this. We're not going to go in depth. I just want to touch on a couple things, and then I want to look at the squads and some of the mechanics that I'm seeing at this stage. So level 1, skipping over level 2, see some of the enemy is getting better. Level 3, we get a faction bonus here, Galactic Public Jedi, but this is really for healers and tanks, but also more importantly, Luminara. We have a condition here where heal over time is going to be adding defense. Level 4, more faction bonus with the Galactic Republic. You see them getting better and better as they get more relic investments. We have another Luminara condition. She's going to be manipulating cooldowns. Level 5, now we get some separatist boosts, but Galactic Republic Jedi tanks, when they get inflicted with damage over time, then all enemies are inflicted with tenacity down. What matters about that is back from level 1, their stat is going to, or level 2, their stack is going to be inflicting dots onto the enemy. So by getting to those higher levels of investment, then those Galactic Republic Jedi tanks, they're going to be able to negate some of that. Faction bonus for the Separatist, what we're seeing is whenever a Sith ally inflicts a debuff, they're going to be doing additional damage. Level 6, Separatist, the Newt leader, when he uses a special, he's going to decrease the enrage timer. So the Separatists are going to be getting better as we invest further into them. Level 7, Galactic Republic. This is a big one for all the Jedi. We see Jedi Healer and Sports getting additional stats. Then we have a Shatterpoint mechanic for Mace Windu, where he is going to give all allies protection up. That sounds very important. And then we have the Luminara condition, Jedi attackers gaining max health and Jedi allies gain 100% offense. Now, this Jedi attacker condition, again, I think is a cam condition. With the Separatist, we have counter chance on Separatist and Sith allies. Separatist allies gain damage immunity. We have first time each Separatist ally is defeated, they revive. That's going to be super powerful. And then we have the Separatist leader slot uses special. They're going to gain defense. So a lot of mechanics really pushing us towards higher levels of investment. Gungans, they're probably going to be straightforward unless we have 3-man squads. Cadme, some version of the normal squad, then the adds will be some mix. I just threw an R2 here because R2 is kind of floating. Separatist droids, some version of this unless they're combined with the Seps and Sith. We already talked about that. Healer supports, but this is what I really wanted to get to is the other Jedi characters. Now this Kelleran squad, maybe Kelleran's not the lead, but what I have here is a lot of tanks. We have an attacker in Kelleran Beck, but Mace is a tank, Jedi Knight Guardian is a tank, Plo Koon is a tank. But I've also added Ayla here because what Ayla has is a very nice basic where she calls a Jedi ally to assist, and when you pair that with a character like Kelleran, that could potentially be very powerful. Also, Mace can call an assist, so if you're calling Mace to assist onto Ayla, Ayla's bringing somebody else into the battle. And then Plo Koon boosting Terminator. Then down below we got a couple stragglers. Ithkoth is a support character, he may have some utility. But Kit Fisto, Qui-Gon, they're both attackers. I'm going to decrease them in importance. They could become important. Qui-Gon might be nice paired with Ayla or with Kelleran. Things could work, but this is some of the stuff that I'm interested in. So I'm excited. We now have a little bit of a clearer idea of what's coming next, how to prepare. We're only going to get more information here, and we also need to be on the lookout for the next GL, the next capital ship, the next progression elements, because we are due for all that information. We will have talk videos for when that stuff comes out. If you're still working on Conquest, we have a Conquest series that we tried out this past week. That information is ready. I'll put the first one here. Otherwise, we got my latest roster video. And we'll wrap it up. Thank you for watching. Be excellent to each other, everybody. This is Still Plays Galaxy of Heroes.